Hi, in this video I have prepared two questions for you. One is true-false question, another one multiple choice question. So the first one would be very easy to answer. You have 50% chances to answer this correctly because we have only two choices here. And still the question is, nonsense mutations do not alter DNA sequence information. So the question is whether it is true or false statement, and we call nonsense mutations such mutations when mutation cause trinucleotide or codon to be replaced with such codon that doesn't code for any amino acids. And we have three such codons. The first one would be UAA. The second one would be UAG, and the last one would be UGA. All these three trinucleotides or codons would code for the stop codon. That means when, for example, when we have translation of the message RNA, when it is translated and protein chain is forming, when ribosome comes to this or one of these sequences, it doesn't have any of the tRNAs that bring amino acid, and usually to such a sequence release factor, this is protein, is attached, so message RNA would be released from the DNA, and of course later such message RNA that going to be shorter than normal. So for example, if this would be normal message RNA, if we have mutation here, that so we would have any of these trinucleotides here, and of course that means that message RNA would be shorter, and protein that would be produced using such message RNA also would be shorter. And of course such protein probably wouldn't be able to perform the same function as original one and would be inactive. And imagine, for example, that here we have different mutation, for example, that cause just change of one trinucleotide with another trinucleotide, or one amino acid with another amino acid. Some of the amino acids are very similar in their properties, and sometimes such change is not drastic, and such protein still can perform the same function within an organism. But when we have such change as that change normal trinucleotide to stop codon, and we just miss the whole part of the message RNA, this is in most cases leads to drastic changes to the protein shape, and such protein cannot perform the same function. So our answer would be that this is a false statement. So nonsense mutations do alter DNA sequence. Next question. Which of the following statements about an animal bearing a somatic mutation is true? And here we have 5 answers to choose from. I have a hint for you. This is not the answer E. We have correct answer here. And in order to answer this question, let me give you some theory here. So imagine that we have multicellular organism that consists of many cells. It can be just 100 cells, or it can be trillions of cells, like we humans have about 10 trillions of cells, but all the cells in our organism except those that produce germline cells, and germline cells is such a cells that can be converted into the sex cell, and sex cells in males are sperms, and in females are eggs. So imagine, for example, that some of these cells are germline cells, and if mutation would happen in any of the cells, that means that such a cell would produce, for example, in male, would produce a sperm with such a mutation, and that would lead to new multicellular organism that would have such a mutation in each of the cells. But as you know, reproductive organs in males and females that produce sex cells are very small, meaning that only very few cells in our organism are germline cells and sex cells, and that means that most of the cells in our organism are somatic cells. So all the cells except sex cells we call somatic cells. So all this the rest cells we call somatic cells. So everything that is not sex cells we call somatic cells. So now we can return to our questions or statements. Statement A. Some but not all of the animal's offspring will also carry the mutation, and this is false, because as you see, if mutation happens in the somatic cell, it doesn't affect offspring. This may lead to, for example, cancer in the organism, but it wouldn't be transferred to the offspring. And answer B, all of the animal's offspring will carry the mutation, and this is not true. Answer C, both the animal and its offspring will show the mutant trait, and this is also not true. And the true answer would be answer D, the animal but not its offspring can be affected by the mutation, and this is our choice. And this is all for today. Thank you for your attention. Please subscribe for my new videos that I post almost every day. Thumbs up if you like this video, and see you in the next video. Goodbye.